Welcome back to CircuitMeter Insights, the podcast where energy meets intelligence. Discovering how smart analytics, real-time data, and cutting-edge efficiency solutions are driving the future of sustainability forward. So, plug in, power up, and let's dive in.
Okay, let's dive right in. If you're operating in commercial real estate or managing industrial sites, maybe large asset portfolios, you know the pressure is always on.
It really is.
It's this constant balancing act, isn't it? Trying to boost your net operating income, that key profitability number, while somehow cutting down those operating expenses that just seem to creep up.
And now there's another layer.
Exactly.
Today, we're taking a really focused look at something critical in commercial real estate. It's that intersection, operations and energy management. For property owners, for managers listening, the core challenge isn't just that energy costs are high. It's the lack of visibility. It makes fighting those costs almost impossible, and then you've got ESG demands piling on, too.
Yeah, and it's a huge task, a monumental one, really, because the traditional utility data, it's opaque, it looks backwards. Our mission today, I think, is captured perfectly by the overview we're digging into. Commercial real estate, turning granular energy data into higher property value.
Right.
Just think about the sheer logistics, gathering all that utility data, electricity, water, gas, steam across maybe dozens, even hundreds of units. That's often a really painful manual job. It can take months.
Months. That's a massive bottleneck, isn't it? All that labor.
Yeah.
And you end up relying on, a single number from the main meter, often pretty useless for understanding a whole building's performance.
Exactly. It's useless.
How can you possibly find hidden waste or allocate costs accurately with just a monthly total?
You can't. And that opacity, it turns energy from something you could potentially control, an operational expense, into just a fixed, unpredictable overhead cost. The shift we're analyzing today is really powered by advanced sub-metering tech, focusing on solutions like CircuitMeter, delivering continuous, really granular circuit-level data, the kind that generates a constant stream of operating cost savings you can actually verify.
Yeah, think of it like this. The old way is like looking at a blurry satellite map of a city. The new way, it's like having a real-time GPS that pinpoints every single car, every traffic jam as it happens.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Okay, let's unpack the financial side then.
Okay.
Because we have to start with the big one for real estate owners, net operating income, NOI. If your operating expenses, your OPEX, are high, unpredictable, mostly driven by energy, well, that directly stops you from maximizing NOI, right?
Almost a systemic failure, built into the old way of measuring. That standard meter gives you one number, just one aggregated number. So operators, they can't easily track which specific system, which machine is inefficient. They can't see the drift, the slow performance decline over months that just eats away at your margin.
Silently bleeding money.
Exactly. And maybe worst of all, they can't manage demand charges effectively.
Demand charges, yes. Those are the killer for commercial properties, aren't they? We hear about these massive punishing fees from utilities, and it's not even for the total energy used, it's for those short, intense spikes. Can you drill down on that mechanism for our listeners? What makes those spikes so financially dangerous?
Yeah, it's fascinating and, frankly, frustrating for owners. Utilities typically look at your highest energy use during short periods, often just 15 minutes over a whole month.
Just 15 minutes.
Could be. And you pay a penalty rate based on that single peak. It doesn't matter what your average use was. It's like being charged based on the absolute fastest speed you ever drove on a trip, not how many miles you actually covered.
That's a great analogy. So how does getting real-time data, like from CircuitMeter, help fight that back?
Well, this kind of data gives you access to real-time energy demand information right down at the machine level, the system level. That granularity, it lets operators see exactly what systems are causing those peaks. Maybe it's an HVAC chiller firing up just as a big production line starts.
Right, a perfect storm.
Exactly. And once you see that, you can stagger those events.
Yeah.
Maybe delay one startup by 10 minutes. That often leads to immediate, pretty significant savings on those demand charges.
Okay, so the real-time data helps manage those penalties, but let's zoom in even further. If the main meter is, as you said, functionally useless for this, what happens when we drill right down to the source, the actual circuit level? What's the fundamental difference there? What makes that granular data so actionable?
So that granular circuit level sub-metering, that's really the foundation for advanced operational analysis. This detailed analysis CircuitMeter calls it forensic energy management, which sounds intense, suggests it goes deeper than just catching obvious mistakes. It's about continuous monitoring, not just power use, but electrical characteristics too. And this gives insights way beyond just tracking kilowatt hours. We're talking about enabling immediate detection of inefficiencies, faults, anomalies, and not just electricity, but across water, gas, and steam too if they're metered.
Wow.
You can benchmark what a piece of equipment should be using and get an alert the moment its power consumption jumps over a threshold you've set.
That sounds incredibly proactive. But I can hear some listeners thinking, okay, for my 50-year-old building, putting sub-meters on hundreds of circuits. That sounds disruptive, expensive even. How do property owners justify that kind of immediate capital expenditure, the CapEx hit, when their main goal is boosting NOI now?
That's a really important question. A fair challenge. The justification often lies in the cost of doing nothing, specifically the cost of unscheduled downtime. Without that granular insight, you're stuck reacting, or maybe doing time-based maintenance, which is often inefficient. You risk unplanned slowdowns, or worse, catastrophic shutdowns.
Which cost a fortune.
Exactly. The data enables what we call precision maintenance. By watching continuously, the system can detect tiny changes in electrical signals that indicate mechanical stress. Think like a motor bearing starting to fail, or increased friction somewhere, long before it actually breaks down.
So you get a heads up.
A critical heads up. It lets operators target repairs just in time. You avoid the huge disruption and cost maybe 10 times higher of an emergency failure and shutdown. This immediate reduction in operational risk, preventing that performance drift we mentioned, that often provides the ROI needed to justify the initial CapEx.
Okay, that makes the ROI case much clearer. Less about just saving energy, more about preventing costly failures. Now, let's pivot slightly. Let's talk verification. Lots of companies do periodic energy audits, right? But that's just a snapshot, a moment in time.
Yeah.
And verifying the actual savings from a big retrofit, maybe new chillers, or optimizing the building management system, that's notoriously tricky. How does this kind of sub-metering help with genuine measurement and verification, or M&V?
Yeah, the credibility of the savings is absolutely everything, especially if you're talking to investors or trying to access capital for these upgrades. M&V grade data, ideally following standards like the International Performance Measurement and Verification Protocol. That means the data is continuous, it's highly precise, and it's completely auditable. Systems that provide this M&V grade monitoring, like CircuitMeter, let owners truly confirm performance. They can verify that the savings from that retrofit are actually showing up year after year. It gives them confidence and proof for their reported results.
And that verifiable proof, it's not just for internal reports, is it?
Oh, absolutely not. That verifiable, auditable data is essential for external credibility, too. It's often required for applications for government incentives, various energy programs, places where you must prove ongoing savings to get or keep the funding. It basically de-risks the whole investment.
Makes sense. Let's connect this back then to the really big picture. Asset value. There's a powerful financial calculation here that maybe gets overlooked sometimes. It's more than just cutting the monthly utility bill.
Absolutely. This is where reducing OpEx through energy savings translates directly into, well, lasting asset appreciation. It's the NOI multiplier effect. Think about it. Net operating income directly drives property valuation. If you assume let's say a typical commercial cap rate of 5%.
Okay, 5% cap rate.
Then for every $50,000 you successfully add to your net income by cutting energy waste, the market value of that property increases by $1 million.
Wow, 50K savings equals $1 million in value.
Potentially, yes, based on that cap rate. So these granular insights, they help owners boost NOI by cutting operating costs. And then they have choices. They could reallocate those savings, maybe improve net rent, or simply retain the higher NOI to increase the asset valuation. Makes the property much more attractive to future buyers or investors.
The financial leverage there is just profound. Okay, shifting gears slightly, but related. We can't really discuss commercial real estate today without hitting on the huge regulatory and compliance burden, ESG reporting, LEED certifications, BOMA Best, GRESB. That investor-driven benchmark, the pressure is intense. How does having this granular data simplify navigating that really overwhelming landscape?
Granular data is basically the only reliable foundation for serious ESG alignment. It underpins compliance and reporting for all those frameworks you mentioned, LEED, BOMA Best, GRESB. A good platform needs to be able to quantify greenhouse gases by converting the energy use data directly into CO2 equivalent production data.
So direct carbon calculation.
Yes. And that enables reduction analysis. You're not just reporting what you used. You're showing where the reductions happened and providing auditable proof. Portfolio-level dashboards are key here, too. ones that integrate smoothly with existing systems, like your building management system or dedicated ESG reporting tools. That's crucial for managing this complexity, especially across multiple properties or even globally. You're essentially transforming what used to be a massive manual tracking chore into automated, verifiable reporting.
Right. I want to circle back to something you mentioned right at the start, that operational nightmare. Collecting utility data from large portfolios. You said gathering energy, water, gas, steam data from maybe 40 to 200 units or buildings. That could take months of manual work. What's the actual tangible efficiency gain here from modern platforms?
Oh, the time savings are massive, truly game-changing for property management teams. The core advantage is consolidation. Instead of staff chasing down utility bills, wrestling with spreadsheets, logging into dozens of different systems, a robust platform consolidates all that necessary utility data, all 4 main utilities, across the whole portfolio with what we effectively call a single click.
One click for potentially hundreds of buildings' data.
That's the goal, that seamless integration and consolidation. It frees up property owners and managers from that complex, low-value, frankly tedious manual data collection.
Yeah.
They can finally shift their focus, put their time and energy towards strategic investments, towards optimizing performance, or frankly other higher value priorities.
So the central challenge in commercial real estate isn't just the high cost of utilities. It's more fundamentally a failure of traditional measurement. It leads to an inability to measure, to verify, and ultimately to control those costs effectively. The solution seems to lie in getting that real-time circuit-level intelligence across everything: electricity, water, gas, steam, making the invisible visible and therefore controllable.
That's it, exactly. Modern sub-metering solutions, they help operators reduce waste, definitely lower operating costs, strengthen their ESG performance, and crucially, CircuitMeter, they let you verify every step of the improvement process with that M&V grade data we talked about. By turning months of data complexity into simple, single-click, actionable insights, it directly unlocks higher NOI. And fundamentally, it builds lasting asset value.
So for you, the listener, you now have this profound business advantage, not just knowing exactly where every dollar of energy is going, but simplifying months of manual data work into literally one click. Think about it from an investor's perspective. If that verifiable M&V data transforms operational risk into a measurable, de-risked asset, what does that level of assured performance do for your next financing round or your overall portfolio rating? And maybe just as valuable, think about the time saved. What higher value initiative could you pursue? Or maybe what personal time could you reclaim when you have that level of simplicity and certainty right at your fingertips?
And that's it for this episode of Circuit Meter Insights. We hope this discussion has powered up your understanding of how smart analytics, real-time data, and cutting-edge efficiency are transforming the energy landscape and driving the future of sustainability forward.